And I like this quote from Henry Ford. One of the discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Lawyers who face fear may experience anxiety, especially in high pressure situations such as court hearings or negotiations. And I coach lawyers, and I've coached lawyers who this is one of the biggest problems they face. They're afraid. They're afraid of what the other lawyer will think. They're afraid to speak up at depositions. They're afraid to speak to their managing partner. And that anxiety can manifest itself as nervousness, trembling, or forgetfulness, or hesitancy. And it will impact your performance and your ability to represent your clients effectively.
Welcome to the Free Lawyer Podcast. I'm your host, Gary Miles. The Free Lawyer Podcast is designed for the lawyer, entrepreneur, or professional who is in some way unfulfilled, stressed, or stuck, and is looking for something better. We will discuss various blocks that limit us from achieving the personal freedom that we all desire, but have not yet fully experienced. And we will give actionable steps to free yourself from them. Are you looking to achieve a new level of success? If so, this podcast is for you.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of The Free Lawyer. Free Lawyer, what are we about? I'm here to help lawyers and other professionals who are struggling or stuck. Sometimes things get so overwhelming, they get so stressful, don't they? And I have 45 years of experience in the profession, and it's my goal to help you be as successful and free as you can. So I bring to you each Monday topics on a solo episode that I feel can be a benefit for you to discuss. On Thursdays, I have a guest. So thank you for joining me here today. And if you are a regular listener, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. If you enjoy what you hear, I would love it if you could give me a rating and review and let me know what you think of the podcast. And if you're new, listen and let me know what you like. And for all of you, please let me know if there are topics you'd like me to address. And today we're going to talk about the very important topic of how to conquer our fears and how to use reframing to better handle the fears that we face. And I like this quote from Henry Ford. One of the discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. One of the greatest discoveries is to find you can do what you were afraid you could not do. How often do you suffer fear in your practice? Do you worry about how your trial will turn out? How do you feel when you start your opening statement to the jury? Are you nervous or scared? Do you ever worry you made some critical mistake? Do you fear how your meeting with your managing partner will turn out? Does fear ever paralyze you or cause you stress? In our high-stakes world of practicing law, fear is really an everyday companion for many of us, whether it's the fear of failure, public speaking, being criticized by others, or by making mistakes. And those fears can paralyze even the most seasoned attorney, hindering your performance and your professional growth. But a really powerful and effective tool to help you conquer these fears and transform them into opportunities for success is reframing. By changing how you respond and how you perceive and how you respond to fear, you can unlock your potential, improve your well-being, and elevate your legal practice. So today is going to be part one of this topic because there's so much material to talk about. And today we're going to talk about what the impact of fear is on us, the different types of fear that we have. I'm going to talk about what is cognitive reframing and what are its benefits. And next week, I'm going to talk about specifically how you utilize reframing to change your perspective and give you the steps to develop a practice of reframing. So let's talk first about how fear impacts you in our profession. So many of us suffer from fear as lawyers, don't we? These are some of the fears we experience: a fear of failure, Have you ever experienced the fear of making mistakes or failing to meet your client's expectations? The pressure to achieve positive outcomes, the pressure to win, and the potential consequences of errors can create powerful anxiety. The fear of judgment. We work in a highly scrutinized and competitive environment. Clients, colleagues, managing partners, judges, the public are constantly evaluating your performance. Fear of being judged negatively can hinder your decision-making and your self-expression. The fear of uncertainty. The legal landscape is ever-changing, isn't it? Now we have AI, and different things are happening, different trends in the economy that affect our practices. The laws are changing, and we have to navigate complex and ambiguous situations regularly. The fear of the unknown and the unpredictability of outcomes can cause us stress and anxiety. A fear of public speaking. Effective communication is really a fundamental skill for lawyers, and public speaking is a central aspect of that. Whether it's speaking to a group you're training at your client, whether it's presenting your opening statement or closing argument, whether it's speaking to a group and making a presentation in your area of expertise. It's something we do a lot of, but it can be scary. So many of us experience fear or stage fright when presenting our arguments in courtrooms, giving presentations, or addressing large audiences. And these are really just a few examples of the kinds of fear that many of us experience. But how does that fear affect us? Fear really has a profound impact on our career as attorneys. It can cloud your judgment. It can impair your decision-making abilities. You may become hesitant or overly cautious, potentially compromising the effectiveness of your strategies or your advice to clients. Fear really erodes your confidence. It makes us doubt our abilities and second-guess our choices. And that lack of confidence can hinder your ability to advocate for your clients or to assertively present persuasive arguments in court or to the mediator. And lawyers who face fear may experience anxiety, especially in high-pressure situations such as court hearings or negotiations. And I coach lawyers, and I've coached lawyers who this is one of the biggest problems they face. They're afraid. They're afraid of what the other lawyer will think. They're afraid to speak up at depositions. They're afraid to speak to their managing partner. And that anxiety can manifest itself as nervousness, trembling, or forgetfulness, or hesitancy. And it will impact your performance and your ability to represent your clients effectively. Fear can also lead to procrastination or avoidance. The things we're afraid to do are the ones we put off. We delay or avoid taking on challenging cases, tasks, or responsibilities due to apprehension about potential outcomes or the fear of failure. The constant presence of fear can contribute to elevated stress levels. The fear of making mistakes or not meeting expectations can lead to burnout, resulting in exhaustion, decreased job satisfaction, and a negative impact on your mental and your physical well-being. If fear goes unaddressed, it will undermine your career satisfaction. You may be trapped in a cycle of fear-induced stress, dissatisfaction, and limited professional fulfillment. These are huge concerns for us. Poor decision-making, diminished confidence, anxiety, procrastination, stress, burnout, and a lack of fulfillment. And, this all sounds pretty negative so far, doesn't it? Like, here's Gary laying out all these fears I have and how they destroy my life as an attorney. Now, of course, not all of us suffer from fear, but many of us, I would say most of us do, if we're honest. And it seems like that it can be overwhelming. But here's the good news. We can manage our fears. And one very effective tool is cognitive reframing. So what in the heck is cognitive reframing? It's a psychological technique that changes how you perceive and interpret a situation, an event, or an experience. For instance, let's say you're preparing for your trial and you start to feel anxious about the outcome. Instead of viewing this as a potential failure, you could reframe it as an opportunity to learn and grow. The goal is to shift your perspective from a negative or limiting view to a more positive or empowering one. By altering your cognitive framework, you can reduce stress, enhance problem-solving abilities, and improve overall mental well-being. So how does cognitive reframing work? Well, there's essentially 3 steps. The first is to identify your negative thoughts. The first step in cognitive reframing is recognizing the negative beliefs that cause you stress or hinder your performance. And those thoughts often stem from distortions such as catastrophizing, or I call it awfulizing, black and white thinking. I'm going to win or lose. This is great or it's terrible. Perfectionism, those kinds of things. The second step, once we have identified those negative thoughts, is we challenge them. Those thoughts are questioned and evaluated. The aim is to understand whether they're based on facts or irrational beliefs. It allows you to ask yourself such critical questions like, is this thought true? What evidence supports this thought? What evidence contradicts it? And then 3, we replace the negative thoughts. After challenging the negative thoughts, the next step is to replace them with more balanced and constructive ones. That doesn't mean ignoring the reality of difficult situations, but viewing them more realistically and less detrimental to your mental state. How does cognitive reframing help us? What benefits do we get from it? Those fears we talked about that can cause stress, insecurity, and lack of fulfillment can be really problematic, but reframing is the answer. These are just a few of the benefits you get from cognitive reframing. Reduced anxiety and stress. Reframing helps you manage your stress by altering your negative thought patterns. When you view challenges from a more positive, or at least a more neutral perspective, the intensity of that stress decreases. Changing how you view those stressful situations will diminish your feelings of anxiety and make it easier for you to manage challenging circumstances. Seeing a difficult case as a learning opportunity rather than a potential disaster reduces the pressure and helps you maintain a calm and focused mind. The second is improved emotional resilience. Reframing helps you build resilience because it promotes a more adaptive and positive mindset. It helps you bounce back from setbacks and to view challenges as opportunities for growth. When you lose a case, reframing the experience as a valuable lesson rather than a personal failure will help you recover more quickly and apply what you've learned to future cases. I'm blessed that I won many more cases than I lost, but the ones I lost, in the beginning, I was crushed by them. I was devastated, but I learned how to reframe them. What can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? And make it an opportunity to learn instead of just a destructive experience. Reframing also enhances your problem solving. With a more transparent, a more positive outlook, you analyze your problems more creatively and effectively. So instead of being paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong decision, reframing the situation can help you weigh your options more calmly and to choose the best course of action. You will have more confidence. When you change how you view those challenging circumstances, you will approach your practice more confidently. So, for example, by reframing your fear of public speaking as an opportunity to showcase your expertise, you build confidence in your presentation skills. You will have better client relationships. Reframing will improve how you interact with your clients by reducing stress and promoting empathy and understanding. It will help you manage difficult client interactions more effectively. Viewing a demanding client as an opportunity to enhance your communication skills and to build trust will lead to more productive and positive relationships. Enhanced professional growth. Reframing encourages continuous learning and professional development. It will help you embrace challenges and seek out new opportunities for growth. You'll start to view feedback as constructive input for improvement rather than a personal attack, and that will promote enhancement of your skills and learning. But the last 2 are the most important. Improve mental health. By reducing your negative thought patterns, reframing contributes to better mental health. It helps prevent burnout It promotes a better work-life balance. So reframing long working hours as a sign of dedication and an opportunity to develop time management skills can help mitigate those feelings of burnout and frustration. And finally, increase job satisfaction. When you view your work through a more positive lens, it enhances job satisfaction and your overall well-being. Reframing helps you find meaning and fulfillment in your legal practice, seeing each case as a chance to make a difference in someone's life rather than just another task will increase your passion for work. Finding fulfillment in your work can be so important, and reframing those challenges as positive thoughts can really change the level of your satisfaction with your work, the level of your fulfillment. Cognitive reframing offers so many benefits to you, from reducing stress and improved decision-making to enhancing relationships with your clients and fostering professional growth. By adopting this technique, you can transform your mindset, boost your resilience, and achieve greater success and satisfaction in your career. Fears can be overwhelming, and positive cognitive reframing of your thoughts, looking at what's going on in a different light, can really change and overcome those fears. Next week, I'm going to give some specific examples of how reframing can change your perspective, how it can change your response to fear. And I'm going to give you some specific steps that you can follow to start cultivating a habit of reframing. You know how important personal freedom is to me. I find the practice of law very difficult, and it's become much more difficult over the years I've been practicing. But when you learn how to reframe your thoughts, you can create greater personal freedom in your life. So please come back to me next week in part 2, where I dive in more fully into the practice of reframing and exactly how it can work for you in your career. I thank you for joining me today for this episode of The Free Lawyer. If you have any thoughts or suggestions of topics you'd like me to cover, write to me at gary@garymiles.net, and I will address them in a later episode. If you like what you hear, or if you have any suggestions, you can email me there at any time. And you know what I'm all about is mentoring lawyers and helping them achieve a level of success that they never imagined possible. So feel free, if you'd like to have a courtesy call with me to talk about where you are and where you'd like to be, there will be a link in the show notes where you can schedule it. So as always, thank you for joining me, and please be well, be safe, and be free.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Free Lawyer Podcast. Wherever you are listening, if you enjoyed what I shared, please leave me a rating and review. I would appreciate hearing more about what you like best and what topics you might like me to cover in future episodes. If you are interested in experiencing a more fulfilling and a more successful life, please contact me at www.garymiles.net, where you can schedule a free discovery call with me so I can learn more about you, your challenges, and your dreams. I appreciate each and every one of you, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks to all of you for your support.